All right, I see people starting to file in the virtual door, so let me welcome you all to the 25-26 annual membership meeting. For those of you who have not met personally, I'm Gregory Conyers, serving um, as your president this year for a short while longer. It has been a fantastic honor to do so, and I hope that you have had a good year with us. We're going to go over some information about where we look, what we look like right now, and what we're thinking about going forward to the future. And we will give you all the information that we have and hope to see you at our annual meeting. Some of you folks who have been around for a while will recall we used to do this at the annual meeting over lunch at our final lunch. And some years ago, we decided to do it this way. And I think it's a great opportunity because, first of all, we're virtual, so hopefully we have more people tuned in. You're not trying to multitask because, no one can multitask. You can only do one thing at a time. And hopefully this is your thing. So, saying that, I want to again welcome folks who are here. I think we'll get started and honor your time. As you can see, we have our first screen up, and I just want to touch briefly on the four pillars that you see underneath our NABE, the Association for Bar Professionals, because I think they're very important to the work of this group. We spent a lot of time in deliberating how these should appear, and so I just want to mention that community, inclusion, transparency, and professionalism are really the pillars upon which the work that we do for you as your bar association rest. And so we really want to emphasize how important that is. And so we put it in the title. Next. So our mission statement, I want to also mention to enhance the skills and enrich the careers of bar association professionals. The importance there, I think, just to recognize is for many, many years, the focus of this organization was on executive directors, and rightly so. Certainly, the folks who were at the head of bar associations around the country were very important to this organization. But we are stretching out and have been over the last several years to include bar professionals beyond just our executive director teams. And so we want to make sure that you all as members are aware of that. And it's important because if there are people within your bars who should be able to access our information, should be members, we want to make sure that you welcome them. It's no longer focused just on executive directors. Case in point, I am not an executive director, but we are very much engaged in trying to develop resources for all bar association professionals. Next slide. So here's our agenda, just to give you a little roadmap of this afternoon. Some guy named Gregory Conyers is going to kick things off. And now we're going to get to what I call the fun part, which is an opening icebreaker. So yes, I'm going to make you have fun. I don't know if I can make you, but I can certainly encourage you. And if you don't know how to have fun all on your own, we're going to try and help you a little bit with a couple of icebreaking questions. So I think the way that we're going to proceed is to draw your attention to some of the icebreaking answers. And I will be reminded that what we wanted to do was ask you a fun fact about yourself that your colleagues may or may not know. I will start, and here is my fun fact. Back in the 90s, I was rocking dreadlocks way before a lot of people thought they were fashionable. So just thought I would share that with you. I also was a member of a rock band, but that's another story for another drink. I don't know how we're going to proceed with other people's icebreakers. Do we want to ask people who already gave us information, or how are we going to proceed with that?
It might be fun for you to list off some of the exciting things that people shared and then see if others can guess who they might belong to.
Oh, okay. Well, that sounds like a great idea, but I'm going to have to find that list unless you have it handy.
I don't. What's funny is that yours is the only one that I remembered because it made me chuckle out loud.
Wow. And so what you're saying to me is that there's a lot of people laughing right now. um, as we look to find some of those answers. And I know I have them here. If you'll just bear with me 1 second, I can bring it up. All right. And let's see. All right. Well, while I try to find this, I'm going to ask somebody who I can see, which is Terry. Give me a fun fact.
Similar to you, I did not have dreadlocks in the 80s. You might have seen me with a full-blown perm mullet,
Yes, sir.
a business in the front, party in the back. But again, that was a few decades ago. I don't even know what fun fact I might have submitted, other than I met my wife 34 years ago on Waikiki Beach in Hawaii.
Wow.
Oh,
That's excellent. All right, I have found my list, and so I'm not going to name check people. I'm just going to name off some because I think we want to get moving, and I don't want to get too deep into people providing this information. So one of our colleagues mentioned that she was a kid's mime in a kid's mime troupe at age 9. That's very interesting. If this is you, you can feel free to shout out and give us some additional facts if you'd like to. Someone else mentioned that they like to overland. Now, I'm not sure I know what overland is. I guess it's sort of like four-wheeling, I'm gonna say. Hearing no response, I'm gonna say that must be what it is. Um, One of our associates has their own theater company. That's fascinating. We've got folks who ride their bikes to work. Someone who has gone from one grandchild to three grandchildren in this year alone. I too have added to our family. I have a 6-month-old who is jumping around and having teething issues right now somewhere. Won a blue ribbon at the Virginia State Fair. That's awesome. Ooh, one trap as a one time as a congressional staff member. Okay, that's awesome. And a bartender, part-time bartender for 15 years. You need to know who that is for future reference. Someone who has been to Willie Nelson's ranch. That's fantastic. I see someone who has a tattoo on their stomach. I know that there are assorted tattoo wearers amongst us. And someone, this is a great place to end, who has worked at a bar association for half their life. So we have an assortment of fun facts there. And I know that there are more out there that I hope people will be eager to share at some point in the future when
Greg,
we get together, perhaps in person. Hey, Tony.
is that person's fun fact also that they have a high tolerance for pain?
That might be a fun fact. Yes, that is a really painful place to get a tattoo. You make a good point.
No, 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 I meant half your life at a bar.
Oh. Yeah, no, that person has a different kind of pain tolerance. So yeah,
Hmm.
that's something a little bit different. I want to welcome Tony Weiler, our incoming bar president, and I also want to acknowledge
Thank you.
Whitney. Whitney says it's her. Okay. I also want to acknowledge Vicky Mock, who is our president, will be our president-elect going forward. So thank you for both of you up and coming, and we look forward to the future with you. All right, enough of the icebreaker. Let's get down to a few of our business issues. Approval of the 2025 minutes. Hopefully people had an opportunity to take a look at them. Let me first ask if there's any edits, changes, things that people noticed are incorrect. You have to speak up. We can't see everyone, so you're going to have to yell. I am not hearing anyone yell, but I do need a motion to approve and a second. And please say who you are when you do this so that our wonderful secretary, Deanne, can know and put down the appropriate person.
This is Jack. I move.
Jack has moved. Jack,
This is
thank
Jill
you.
Snitcher. I'll 2nd. Second. 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 Second.
Thank you, Jill. All those in favor signify by saying aye or waving crazily because you don't have your audio on.
Aye.
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 You can do both, that's fine. Any opposed? Same signal. Seeing none, motion is approved. Thank you very much. That's a lot easier than sending a sheet around with red lines during lunch. So thank you, I appreciate that. Next is our financial report, and we are going to turn to our illustrious treasurer, Lori Maxwell, for a report on our finances. Lori, take it away.
Thanks. Can you move the slide forward? There we go. So here is our key performance indicator report. Now keep in mind that these numbers on the screen are from April. So we still have 2 more months in the to finish out the year. But what you can see here is our cash balance down here in the bottom left-hand corner is around $607,045, which gives us about a 16-month operating reserve at the top there. And we are projecting a net profit in the positive of $18,385, which is kind of relative to, you see, the last 2 years plus this year. At the top of the screen, you can see that the profit and loss and the revenue year to dates are in the red, but there's a few reasons why that is the case. So annual meeting registration fees exceeded the budget by 15%, while related expenses were 9% over the budget as well. CE retreat income exceeded their budget by 25%, and the expenses were also 11% below the budget. But year-to-date, membership and sponsorship revenue is below budget, but membership is higher than the previous year. So balancing out all of those numbers, it turns out that we are a little bit close to like -2% in net profit and then -10% year-to-date. But overall, we're still doing fairly well. The year-to-date expenses are higher than last year and 5% below the budgeted amount overall. So that's the financial, looks really good, I think, for where we are right now. I think we're going to talk about membership in the next few slides, so I'll leave that for then. That's it, Greg. Any questions? Greg, you're muted.
Sorry about that. Okay. Yes, so I'm not hearing any questions and we can move forward to the next slide. The State of the Association. Next slide, please. So what we want to show you here is where we are membership-wise. You can see here both our overall membership and our sections membership. Communications, very robust. In fact, all of these are quite robust. Our annual meeting, we're hovering around the same area that we have over the last several years, usually in between 160, and I think our high point was somewhere near 180. Our chief executives retreat this year in particular, we saw an uptick in the numbers of attendees there. And as Lori mentioned, as a result, we did have more revenue than anticipated. Our communications workshop was fantastic as usual, and certainly had a great presence there in Boise, Idaho. We'll hear a little bit more about that going forward. And government relations workshop, we've had to move to virtual this year, but that was something also that was successful and continues to be. So by the numbers, I think we're in good shape. We're holding steady fairly, and we know that that's quite a thing to do in this day and age where membership is always something to be concerned about. So next slide, please. Any questions, please feel free to raise them and address them. Importantly, our membership dues restructure has really been well received. As you can see here, our old sliding scale, which was based on membership size, has been replaced by one flat annual rate for all of our staff. I should say too that was a really well-considered move, and there was a lot of deliberation, but I've heard nothing but positive feedback from people in terms of how that makes it easier for them to participate, easier for them to get others within their bar associations on board. And so we think it's been overall a bonus and a positive. You can see here that the associate, alumni, and retired, as well as the sections, remains the same. So I think that we're going to move forward in the same fashion and hope that it continues to yield positive results. Next slide. This is our newest member benefit, and we're very excited about it. I'd say, I think from all reports, we're probably about 95% of the way there, if not more. I see Jack saying yes, that's correct. Jack, Hannah, and Robert Rupp have been working on this project now for over a year. We are calling it Bar School, a certification program for new Bar Association employees. And what it is a series of modules that span across all of the disciplines, if you will, within Bar Association structure. And so we are very excited to roll this out at the annual meeting and give people an opportunity to sort of test drive what we put together. I should say what Jack and Robert have put together with the help of a number of volunteers from around the country. And so we hope that this is another way to entice our Bar Association colleagues to be a part of NABE, to show that we have benefits for them. And we know that in our Bar Association world, there's a lot of churning that will continue. And so we hope that this is a real benefit. Jack, do you want to mention anything further while we're on this subject?
No, I think you summed it up well. I'm excited to launch it as well. It was a need that I personally had, so it really just connected with everything that NABE was about too, as well, just supporting our staff, supporting our bars, supporting our community. So I'm really excited about it.
Excellent. And thank you to you and Robert and all of the volunteers. And Dennis Archer also had a great hand in pulling this together. It's a series of videos that are part of this and instructive information. So it's a real resource and will continue to evolve, which is even better. So it won't be a stagnant sort of reference book. It will be something that is alive, not AI. Next slide. We have other strategic planning initiatives on par with the Bar School initiation. We want to be really intentional about gaining a better understanding of our members and of folks who we're trying to serve and be a resource to. So that's an ongoing pursuit. We are focused on some data activities going forward. We've talked a lot about that at the board level. And we're also looking at other opportunities to provide people with skills and resources. So you can see there, we have looked at our chief CAE, work groups and provider status, continuing collaboration, transparency, and inclusion with sections. Our sections are really engines that help to drive the full Bar Association. And we find that over the last few years, inviting more participation from section leaders has been really beneficial to the overall association. That's the transparency part, that's the inclusion part, and of course the collaboration. And so there are places within our strategic plan where that has shown up. I will also mention that this is another strategic planning beginning. We've gone through our 3-year strategic plan, and we're at the point now where we'll be trying to reassess and take another look at where we are and where we want to go as an association. And I invite all of you as members to help us with that process by giving us input and feedback. Next slide. We're going to move now to updates from sections. I believe our first is from communications. I don't know. I can't see if Hannah has joined us.
I'm here.
Hey, Hannah. Glad to have you. I'm going to turn it over to you to give us a brief section update on communications.
Sounds great. Thank you. So as you indicated, we had a great workshop in 2025 that was in Boise, Idaho. Beautiful Boise, Idaho, we learned. We're currently planning for our workshop that will take place this October. It's going to be held in Washington, D.C. As part of that event, we do present our awards for the year. So that includes our Luminary Awards, which recognize the work of communications throughout the year for all of the bars who are involved, as well as our individual awards. And so that is the Wally Richter Award, the Ann Charles Award, and this year we're introducing a new award called the NABE Newcomer Award. And it is presented to someone who's been in the section for 5 years or fewer and has made significant contributions. So we are excited to debut that in DC. We're continuing to have a lot of engagement with our water cooler Wednesday questions and hope to continue that into the new bar year. And we're looking forward to seeing what's in store as Liz Novak takes the helm as chair.
All right. Hannah, thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
And I just want to say, as someone who was able to attend a couple of communications programs, is always entertaining, always very informative. Boise was fantastic, and so I know I'm looking forward to what is in store for the upcoming workshop.
We
And
do pride ourselves in being entertaining.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. With that, are there any questions for Hannah? I'm not hearing any. I'm gonna move us on to the next person, and that is, I can't again see if she has joined us, but
I'm here.
hey, Libby Snyder is here. All right,
Yes.
Libby.
Thank you. So as Greg mentioned earlier, the government relations section had to pivot our meeting this past year from in person in San Diego to virtual. With Greg's help, Tony's help, a lot of excellent help from the board, we were able to sort of mitigate our damages for leaving the room block. But we ended up having a really successful virtual conference, and I wanted to thank everybody who helped out with that and making it a success. When we decided to pivot to virtual, we were actually able to increase attendance. Some folks that weren't going to be able to come in person were able to join virtually. And, I think we had some great participation and really good turnout. Our next government relations section conference is going to be in Kansas City this November. I'm really looking forward to it. And just hoping that, we have great turnout and no flight problems this year. Something that we've been working on as a section is increasing membership from states where they had a long time GR member who may be retired. We're trying to make sure that their successor is joining NABE and joining the section. And then we're also, in my mind, in a little bit of a rebuilding phase with sort of organization and making sure that the section council is fully staffed and all positions are filled.
Excellent. Thanks, Libby. Are there any
Thank you.
questions for Libby before we move on? I'm not seeing any. Everybody's going to be geared up to join Libby and their section in Vicky Mock's neck of the woods in Kansas City. Next up is our operations and member services section chair. As you know, is the new name, or not new, but newish, is Anna Scholl. Are you around?
I'm not seeing her.
Not seeing her. Okay. Well, is anyone else who is a part of that section available to say anything about what they're doing? If not, we can move on. There'll be a full report later. All right, I'm not seeing anyone jumping out ahead of this, and so we are going to move on through our agenda and speak a little bit about our upcoming annual meeting, and invite you to hear from Alicia Hernandez. Is Alicia on?
She is not on. I did not see her.
Okay, well, I can definitely, I'm not an expert on ohms yet, but I can definitely tell you about our upcoming annual meeting. It's going to be held July 28th through the 30th at the Hyatt Regency in Chicago. We are looking forward to having you join us. Registration's open. The scholarships that we have available, the deadline was June 3rd. So hopefully, if you had someone in mind for a scholarship opportunity, you were able to apply. I'm going to encourage you to book now because the hotels, as you know, fill up quite quickly. We are in the same line as not only the ABA and NCPP, but Lollapalooza is in Chicago that weekend as well. So, and if you want to join Whitney and I, or Whitney at Lollapalooza, we'll talk about that later. However, I do want to also mention that we have topics that are really focused on connection, connecting deeply and daily is our theme. And we want to make sure that your bar association is doing just that for you. We've always heard, those of you who have been around for a while, the greatest benefit of NABE is the connections, the networking that you get mostly in live opportunities and being able to talk to your colleagues and counterparts from across the country. So we want to build on that. And so we put together a program that is focused on that very thing. And so we hope that you can join us. There will be CAE credits available, and we will, as I mentioned earlier, be rolling out some new programming with our bar schools. And so it's really a great opportunity to put a capstone on the year for all of the activities of our sections and really give you an opportunity to meet with colleagues who you may not have been able to touch base with and connect and get information that can be brought back to your bar association in your home state. So please join us. We're going to have a great time. Anyone who's ever joined us before knows that we have a good time from beginning to end. And so it'll be an opportunity that you don't want to miss. Any questions about our annual meeting? I'm not seeing any. All right. Well, that is the end of, well, I'm sorry, we have a few more upcoming events that I want to draw your attention to here. There, didn't forget almost. All right, we do have a couple of virtual programs. The Maximizing Your Membership program. We want to point you to our, of course, section workshops that were mentioned earlier, and then our annual meeting. I do want to also just mention that this is not a part of our screen presentation, but you should know that we're talking a lot about how we can put together conversations among your peers, with your colleagues, that evolve organically, if you will, when questions are asked in our virtual workspace, where we have connections based on your connections with particular communities. And so by that, I mean, we are always enamored of the communications section because they do such a great job at pinpointing ideas and then having everyone chime in and talk about those ideas and bring those things to the fore. So we're going to try to capitalize on that going forward into this next year as well. So with that, I want to tell you that we are counting on you to bring information and questions to that process. You're a resource, just like we want to be a resource to you. And so I encourage you to stay tuned, and we'll be reaching out in various ways to get your input and information on important topics to the Bar Association. With that, if there are any further questions, we'd love to take them. Here you can see a wonderful representation of all of our sponsors. And I should tell you that immediately following this, we're going to have a membership conversation about our sponsors. And I think we're doing quite well as an organization, and you should be aware of that. That being said, if you know anybody who wants to be a sponsor, don't hesitate to let us know. All right. Any questions, comments, observations, criticisms, random thoughts? I'm hearing none. Everybody must be completely and fully satisfied with that presentation. I'll take that as a yes. Excellent. Well, let me just take this opportunity for those of you who were able to join us to thank you for a wonderful year. Bar Association World is a great community, And this is a great organization, and it's that way because of each of you. And so I so much appreciate being able to help you move this organization, I think, forward, hopefully not backward. And so thank you so much. And I appreciate all of you. And we'll see you hopefully in Chicago.
Thanks for all your leadership, Greg.
Thanks, everyone. Take care.